This video, sponsored by the California Department of Education, is part of the CAASPP and ELPAC Interim Assessment video series. This video provides an introduction to the ELPAC Interim Assessments. It covers the purpose of the interim assessments and how they can be used to support teaching and learning for all students, especially English learners, and it will also cover some general information about accessing the interims and related resources. The ELPAC interim assessments help educators measure a student's progress toward English language proficiency. Like the summative ELPAC, the interim assessments are aligned with the 2012 California English Language Development, or ELD standards, and assess 4 domains: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. These assessments also provide educators with access to data, tools, and resources that can help improve instructional practice for teachers and increase student learning in the classroom. Experiencing the interim assessments also allows students to interact with questions and a testing process or interface that is similar to what they will experience when taking the end-of-the-year summative assessments. It also gives students the opportunity to use the same accessibility resources that are available on the summative assessments. Importantly, the interim assessments can be used flexibly as assessments of learning and assessments for learning. When used as assessments of learning, interim assessments are assigned after a period of learning, and the results are used to measure progress toward meeting English language proficiency at the individual and group level. When used as assessments for learning, interim assessment questions, also called items, can be integrated into classroom instruction to support learning. Either manner of administration provides insight that can inform next steps for teachers and students. Interim assessment task types and items can be given to a whole class, including those with native English speakers, in order to gauge the proficiency level of all learners in a classroom. For example, an interim assessment task type or item can be displayed for whole class or individual student learning using the Interim Assessment Viewing System or the Interim Assessment Administration and Scoring materials available in the Test Operations Management System, or TOMS. Such implementation allows for immediate teacher feedback and discussion about student responses and allows for assistance in revision so as to improve student understanding of the item's content. Interims are an important part of a comprehensive assessment system that includes summative assessments, interim assessments, and formative assessment practices. Each assessment type has a different scope and purpose, but when used together as part of a coherent assessment system, they provide important information that can improve teaching and learning. At the center of this system are those resources and data that support teaching and learning. ELPAC interim assessments are available for the same grade levels and grade spans as the summative ELPAC, which are kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, grade span 3 through 5, grade span 6 through 8, grade span 9 and 10, and grade span 11 and 12. As with other interim assessments, all ELPAC interim assessments can be administered to students in any grade to best fit the educator's or student's needs. For each grade or grade span, there is an assessment for each of the 4 domains: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Reading and listening items in the ELPAC interim assessments are designed to be machine scored. Items in speaking and writing will need to be scored locally by educators. For the speaking domain, scores are manually entered during or after the test administration. For the writing domain, student responses are scored after administration with different approaches for different grade levels. There is more information about how to administer the ELPAC interim assessments in another video in this series. In order to administer the ELPAC interim assessments, educators need to be assigned a role in TOMS, which will provide them with single sign-on credentials to access any necessary systems, such as TOMS, the Test Administrator or TA interface, and more. If you need assistance with accessing the interim assessments, please contact your LEA or Site ELPAC coordinator. Interim assessment questions are copyrighted and secure. They are only available to California school and district staff or any non-public school educators who teach California public school students. They are not for public use, display, or distribution, and are not permitted to be copied into third-party systems. Any use, display, or distribution of the interim assessments that results in access to individuals beyond school or district staff and students is considered a security compromise. If this occurs, immediate action should be taken to contain and limit the scope of the compromise by collecting and destroying any hard copy or electronic materials containing test content. The district coordinator should also notify their success agent, or CAAASPP, as soon as possible. Please keep in mind that while the interim assessments are secure, the California Department of Education does not require a signed security affidavit to access and use them. However, LEAs are encouraged to establish local security requirements to protect the integrity of these assessments. Thank you for viewing this video on the ELPAC interim assessments. For more information and to view the other videos in this series, please visit bit.ly/IA video series. This video was brought to you by the California Department of Education.